business. Hi, my name is Madhavi and I'm so happy to have you on Upptalk. You have come to the right place if you want to learn about IT and do really cool things with your hands. We are not just another IT company when I say Upptalk. Think of us as your learning partner dedicated to helping you reach your full potential. We have top-notch hands-on courses to help you build your business, whether you are new to technology or want to move up in your current job. Let's look around this as our first step towards learning.
Before load will trigger whenever this page is going to open. If we want to set any value or perform any validation, we can perform in before load. Before this page gets loaded or before load will trigger and it will perform any validation we want to perform. Like in page init, we want it to perform any validation after the page is loaded. But here we can perform any validation before the page is loaded. One is before submit. What is before submit? Let's edit this. We have completed this form and we want to submit this form now. What will happen? We will click the Save button and this record has left the user interface. But it hasn't been committed to database. Before committing to database, before submit will trigger and we have clicked this. And after submit, this record has been submitted to database. Then after submit will trigger. That is the main difference between before submit and after submit. In after submit, the advantage we have once we have saved this, we can perform any validation by using any values of an after submit will provide us the internal ID of that record. Suppose we are going to create a new record. You can hear me. I can hear you. Suppose we are going to create a new record. In before submit, until the record has been submitted to database, we will not have the internal ID. But in after submit, internal ID will be there of the record. That is the main difference. If you want, we can try to deploy the script and see how these all validations will work. Hold on, can you go back to the screen just now? Not this one, the NetSuite screen. The NetSuite screen, NetSuite screen. You open this message, right? Open this record. The message on top shows up immediately, right? I assume that it is before load. Is that correct? No, it was page init in before load. We cannot show any message. You know why we cannot show that. Any validation in before load will be performed before this page is loaded. Does that make sense? Oh, then what is the use for that? You know you have done anything. Is there any use case that you use there? Any use case of throwing any error in before load? You are saying that. No, what you use in before load, what can you do in before load? In before load, what we can do is let us say we want to show a button here right after cancel. That button we can only show before the page is, rendered. Then only we can show a button. That type of validation we can do in before load or anything like this demo name we wanted to show. Earlier what we were seeing, the page was full loaded, then this demo name was being changed. but in before load, we can perform the same validation. But you do not have the if you do a before load, right? How do I access this field? Is it using the current context or what do I use? I think the same context. And let's try to you know does the current record you have anything in the before load? Can you show me? Scrub a little bit. Actually, in user event script we use new record. Before load itself actually have a record now already. Has to happen. But you cannot show the message. But you have to now. Can you scroll up just a little bit? New record. You can set value on the new record, but you cannot show message. Message we cannot show from before load. In before load, we can only create buttons or we can set any values. This is the version that you can do. Please don't do this. Let's see if we have any other memory items we can check. Feel free to send them into that. One of the initial changes of the command. As you saw in a client step, let me show we were using container. We are using container, 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 we are using container. We are using container. This is not the ideal way to set a value use. Set value A, P, I. We will copy this from we are using container, 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 we are using container. We are using container. This is the ideal way to use an API. Just copy it from, let's say, the help center. These are the advanced way only. I will not recommend those. Set value to true. What does that do? Sorry, I cannot hear you. Oh, set value to true. Is there a few call item? Is there a few call item? This is no, there should be a field. We will set any value in this field. We will see. We can use any field now. Let's set a value in which field. This item the value. Let's save a hard-coded value here. Save it now. Let's deploy that script. Let's do one more thing here. 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 In this record, actually, we will try to set the value only. Which will come from this field. And you as well can see that how we will log the things. Let's set the same value here. And now let's deploy this script. We can choose the script. We will deploy it. Save and deploy. And I already told you that the status should be testing while we are testing the script. And once we are done with testing, we can make it as released. Let's do the first image. Save it. You can see that there is no log here. We will open any customer. You can see that we are seeing this error. What is this? OBJ record. And let's open our script. Refresh it. You can see that there is this message. It is accepting. What is this OBJ record? Now let's go to our script. We have used this OBJ record, but this OBJ record holds nothing. Where we are fetching this value from, we are fetching this from OBJ record, but that is nothing. We will fetch this value from the same record, which is custom record. Right now, let's upload it again. Let's reload this page. You can see that the value is not set, but the page has loaded. There was no error. Let's see what is if there is any error. We were able to fetch the value. You can see that the right email is coming. Right? This was the email ID. Right? But we were not able to set the value in this field. Let's see why it was not possible. We will try to save this value once from UI. There may be any validation on this particular field. But at that time, it should give us error that there is this validation. Value. Where is the value? This is the value. We can try changing. The revenue is a number field. No, it's not a number field. I was just saying that it may be a no. You are trying to set an annual revenue to an email. But an annual revenue is a number field. Actually, this is a custom field. We can see in this field what type of field it is. This should be an entity field. Why do we try to set a number? Maybe you would. We can set number. I just wanted to show you how we can log the things. In the script, how logging and debugging will work. I was trying to save the same value we were fetching from a field. It's just I wanted to show that. What was this field ID? The name is Justin and will be in. Let's try to see this field. We will try to see what type of field it is. Let's try to save it if it can take the same value. I have set the same value in this field. I'm not able to see why that field is not visible over there. We cannot save this. Maybe you will set in a comment field. Put in a regular text field instead. Let's see where that works. We can set any value here. You can set any value. I just wanted to show you that how the debug things will work. Right, it will work. It's just a matter of what type of field it is we need to see. And we can set a value accordingly. It will work the same way. The other difference between client script and user event script will be that our client script will not work in view mode. I just show you. There is this edit and view. I will click on view. Before load will trigger in view mode as well. But any of client script trigger point will not work in view mode. There has to be edit mode only to work the client script. The page in it is a client script. Page init is a client script or server script. Page init is a client script. But you see the message on top right. That is a system generated message. That is not from any I know. If I have to create a message like this, how do I do it? Client script or server script. In before, this type of message we cannot show actually in view mode. That is all we can say limitation only. There is no way you can view a record and show a message like that. Actually, there are some advanced things you can explore, but as of now, you can take it like in user event script. We cannot show this type of alert message. You can try this if it works for you. It may, but ideally it should not show. There is this, what should I say? You know limitation only of NetSuite. That we cannot do that. But when can we show after save, after before submit? After submit, we can show message correct. On after submit as well, we cannot show message because let's edit this. How about because of it then? In user event script, we cannot show any alert. Or any, cannot show any alert. We can show alert like this in edit mode page init. And if we want to show alert, you want to show an alert on the click of the save button. Let's say right. You will use client script save record event. But how do I message like this, right? How do I show? What module should I use to show this kind of message? Because alert, for example, right? Alert can only show pop-up correct. Oh, user event cannot show message. How do I show this kind of message? Let's see a module. There is a separate module called, I think, dialog module is there. iMessage, I think it's here. User event cannot show message. I cannot do any validation in user message correct in that user event in that case. Is that the right statement? In user event, we cannot show. You cannot do validation. I cannot say you forgot to put this field, forgot to put that field. I'm not understanding. Can you please come again? I want to do validation when the user is doing right. I have to use client script. There is no way I can use user event script correct. You can see that dialog alert. There is this dialog module. It has this dialog alert as well. We can see in what type of script it supports. It supports client script only. It supports client scripts only. You can see that this dialog alert will work in client script only. You can see right. Likewise, we cannot show message. Any message which will be, showing here, that will be only an error message. Error message. Like what kind? Error. As if this, when we were trying to set this value and we were seeing any error. One-time error. Not the type that you purposely put it on the screen. user event cannot show message. You can try as well if you know possible. You can try as well. I try, that's why I am asking. That is all from mostly from user event script. As I told you mostly before, load function will be used to create button actually. Great, but how do I create a button if I have to do it? You can, take any code. Let's see. Um, is there a module to add button? No, actually there is not a separate module. It's just a JavaScript function we can use to create a button from user. We will just put that and we need to give the ID of that button and it will show. For example, I want to. And on the click of that button, you can call any function. How do you do it? Create a button. I just want to copy it. I want to see how do you actually. I am just trying to, see a ready snippet. We simply out of this form. On this form, we applied add button and this add but to this use this add button, we need to give the internal ID and label. And this will work. We deployed the script and we show that this demo button was coming. And if you want to perform any accent on click of this button right, there is this. Another parameter, this is function name. We can call any function or we can redirect to just any URL by simply using window opener. That is how we create a button in before load, and we can only create buttons in before load event. Not in any other event. We can create a button. Rest of the scripting will be same as user event. Sorry, client script only, but it's just the trigger events and this button thing is extra and user. You can try anything by setting any value or something. Most probably the first exercise we gave to. The people who work newly on NetSuite. What we do is that we ask them to create a button on any record. And on click of this button should open another script or a custom script. As of user event script, we are done. If you have any questions or something you can let me know here. This is my script. The reason why the script looks like that, because I use the to do January, all these things. They work. That's fine. But the problem is right. This is my screen. Right. For do you see any problem here? Format button item. Can you just change the variable from form to any, let's say, demo form? And do the same demo. Is. Can you please return the function in right way before load colon? Before load. Say it again before load. Down, down, go down, go down. Here in return, just write colons. Again before load, again before load. And comment at the commenter as to. That is right. I think because it has an error just now. And on which record you have deployed. Can you please go to deployments? Deployments. Not this screen, just go to script. The script. Click on deployments. It's next to execution log. Not from here. On the script page itself. Can you please go back again to the script page? This one. Deployment. Deployments here. I should remove this. You have deployed this to sales order form. Can you please just delete this second deployment? How do I delete? Just click on it. Just remove it and save it. Now please try to open any sales order. You can open any sales order now. What label you have provided? What label you have provided? What label I have provided? You have provided test button, right? Keep giving me this error. Now try to open any sales order. There's a loop. You are clicking on sales order. Try again, write enter sales order. Invalid form. It says you have entered an invalid element name. It must. Just go to the script now. Before this test button ID. Before ID. Before ID. Before test write CST page. Oh, you have to do that. Like this. CST page and give underscore. Like this. And remove this. You know the backspace. Backspace. No, this one. The backspace, the slash. You are using this backspace. Like this. Give that again. And before the CST page as well. Just remove it. Remove it as well. It's removed. Now try to save it. Now open any sales order. Oh, that's why. Let me tell you what is the reason. It says I thought this is just a name. What is the name? Actually, in any, the best practice is to provide CUST page or restart from CUST. In some cases, if you will not use CUS page as this will work, but in the ideal scenario is we use this CUST page. But in some cases, you may see that without CUST page as well, it may work for you. But the ideal scenario is CUST page only to use that. Always have to use CUST page. To create any custom field or using this custom button, we start from CUST only. Label. You can give any, but IDs should be in this manner. Now, I didn't do anything. I saw nothing which you want. And as I told you, you can copy, all the documentation is provided in Help Center only. You have seen that Add button option as was provided in that Help Center only. I was not able to find that. That is the thing, how you use the documentation. Those are all the things. Let me repeat some things you might have forgotten for you in user event script. The difference between user event script and client script here, that after submit and before submit event will trigger, even if you are not creating a record from UI by any means, from CSV or from integration. If you are going to create those records, then also these user events trigger point will trigger, but client script trigger point will not trigger. One more thing. That is the advantage. One question, right? These are, you have a lot of records, right? You have sales order, you have purchase order, you have billing customer payment. Customer is entity, correct? Where is customer? Account is entity. Is customer, customer is entity, right? Customer is entity. I read many places, nobody say actually, everybody say the same thing. How do I actually, if I need to get a list of records, get a list of account or customer, right? How do I list of what? List of customer. Let's say, for example, list of customer, for example, right? Is there any queries? SQL you can execute to look at the database record or the database level. List. If you want to see queries, you can use, but you need to create. But there is another way you can find this internal IDs or whatever data related to those customers. You can get it in the script as well if you want. I can show you. I just want to know how do you actually query a database. Query the database. That's all. Just go to NetSuite again. Hold on. I forgot. Where do I go? But here we have this option. Let's say, let's create a save search. Oh, you save search. Will you save? Search your query database. Is that on UI? On UI as well, but the same data we can use in our script as well. Also use a save search object or the search object, the search module. Search is a module actually. I don't actually have a query tool like using the SQL select where it goes to those kind of things. Or actually query module. Let's go to query module. Oh, frankly, actually, I haven't used this query module. All of my work, getting all the data, I can perform it via Save Search. If you want, you can use this query module as well. You can, explore all these API, but the short way of using, getting the data, we mostly use a Save Search only. There's this query module. You can explore this whole module. And if you see any error, you can let me know. I will, explain it for you. I need to try it. But how do I execute this? Do I write, let's say I just want to see, what is the information for our customer or for our account or anything, right? First 200 accounts. I just do a select, but how do I execute? Do I put it in a script or do I actually have a console there? Let's say via a save, how I, get the data from. What we do. Let's say we want to search all the customers. We get it. Where is your customer? Let's say all the customers created after this. We only need the name. You can see that all the name are coming. It's just that now we need to see how we can access all this record in our script, right? For that we have an extension. Is it a search save, search export? Is You are already aware of that? No, I just doing right. I just doing it just now on you. Like 2 seconds ago, I just looking whether there's any extension. Oh, that you use. Oh, there's a quick access for NetSuite. Query quick access, not query access. You can see that export as search option is coming right. As you're already aware, we are using 2.x version. We can copy this code. Actually, you will need to fetch a lot of data in MapReduce script. I can show you how we can use it there, but for your query, I'm just trying to explain. But how do you output? How do we output the search result? The result you are saying. How do I output this search result? Right? This is a user event script, right? How do I output the search result? Where do you show on the screen? Now what you can do, all of the data of this record of this save search is under the search, right? Under this result. Now what we can do is that we need to fetch data one by one. Let's try to create an array. Let's create an array. Let's try to log this as a how the search results are coming right. What we did here, actually, we are running this search in our code and all the data which is coming. I am putting all this data into an array right that we can use. I declare this name of variable as an array and all the data which will be coming under this, save, search and all the name I'm putting in this array. We saw for Kevin label. Then after that you do a log to actually look at. In the debug log you actually look at the data. What data is coming? Now let's try to open any customers right. Then only we can see the logs. Before that, we need to define this search model as well. Otherwise, it will throw an error. Let's see, let's see, let's see, let's see, let's see. And also the best practice is to, edit the code in R and D. Only do not try to, edit the code in NetSuite. That is one of the ways every trainer will give you edit where. In your, editor, local, Let's try it. You can see that all of these names, were rendered. And this array, all these names are coming under this array. We can use the way our requirement will be. It's just that this is the way we fetch data from NetSuite database. Query module as well you can use, but frankly, I have not used a query module actually. For you, I can try and I can let you know when you need it. Safe search right. You can join multiple join records and join entity, right? I mean, you can join, let's say, for example, we can do that as well. This is customer, right? Let's assume we need to get the data from. Let's say I want a sales order with sales order and also the customer email, right? You can do that. You can do that. Let's open a sales order. You can join this table. We can use join. We can use join. How many join can you have? Multiple we can have. Let me try safe search right. As of, you can see this is sales order record. On this, from this particular record, you can fetch the data from customer record as well. You can do that and the data of these item as well. You can, but that particular record should be present on sales order record. That is a way to get. Let me tell you how we use join. Let me take a particular internal ID, otherwise the safe search will take a lot of time. We can try to run this search. Just want to show you how join will work. You can see that here we are using customer as join. Whatever data will be there in this internal ID field of customer, it will reflect, and same join you need to use in your script as well here. How do I edit? The join is in the not here, the save search, right? Sales order filter add. In result, you know we are fetching the data from customer or the result. You can say column as well. This we say column or to this criteria. This is criteria. We can say filter as well. Account. You want to fetch account. Account email. Let's say for example, let's say I want to say get all the account email right. All accounts list accounting account. How do I get the account email? Not account like customer email. Let's say you're saying customer's email account, email address. Right? Right. Will you click on this? I think it's called account. How do you click that thing? We simply will show you again. How we do? We need to see customer fields. We will search that customer here. Customer field we need to click actually. We can see that customer project fields will be. Click on this and this pop up will show whatever fields will be available on that customer record. All those fields will be visible here. We can select any, we will select any and we will add it, and we can run our search and we will see that please enter a value for a field. You can see that mails are also fetching. This is a way you can get the data. Good. That's how I'm looking for. Save search. Is there a limit for save search? How many thousand records you can show, or is there any limit? For save search, there is no limit, but for script, there is a limit. You know the governance. As far as we are good with the governance, we can fetch any data. Save search should be the way to go, right? But update we cannot do. Update you have to use the import export, right? Absolutely. Got it. I think that's it for today. Thank you very much, Ranjit. And tomorrow we can, learn how we create custom pages in NetSuite via script, the suited script particularly I'm talking about. We can see that tomorrow. Or any specific script before that you want me to cover, I can do that as well. Now, it's fine because I already do my homework on the user event. Only the messages is a new thing that I didn't know that you can show cannot show message on a user event. And I will cross check that as well. If that is possible, I will let you know. But because I have tried a lot of times, but that hasn't worked, I will cross check as well and I will let you know. Thanks, Ranjit. Thank you very much. Thank you. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@therightuptalk.com.